so there are a lot of reasons to get an electric car. I've been driving one for many years now, and I usually categorize them in 5 big sections. First, generally, electric cars are more reliable. They have a lot less parts, and so they require a lot less service. Their handling is better. The battery is on the floor, so you get a lot better handling. They're safer than gas cars, and an electric motor has more power and torque, so the cars in general are fun to drive. The other thing, obviously, is health and environment. A lot of reasons why you would want an electric car. For health reasons, they pollute less than gas cars. They put less pollutants in the atmosphere. And overall, for lung health, heart, cancer sectors, they do reduce the contribution to those sectors. And, they don't smell, there's no exhaust, there's no chance of oil spills, no sound pollution, and the energy is 99% renewable, so that goes a long way to a healthy environment. Of course, your personal wallet is affected when you get an electric car. A lot of cost savings. The fuel, which is the electricity, costs 70 to 90% less than gasoline. The service, there's no service for an electric car, so you don't have to go in for oil changes, you don't have to go in for filter changes, things like this. And, your brakes, because of regenerative braking, last 5 to 10 times longer than a gas car, so again, cost savings to your personal wallet. In Quebec specifically, you get free access to toll roads, you have free access on lanes, free access to ferries, lower insurance costs because they're very safe cars, and you do get some government incentives. Currently in Quebec, there's an $8,000 incentive for electric cars. So your personal wallet is greatly affected in a good sense. You also have some collective wallet, what I like to call collective wallet improvements. That is, the state itself saves money. We use in Quebec hydroelectricity, which is government owned, very cheap, so that's good for the state. You create jobs in that sector locally instead of sending money overseas for gas and petroleum that you take from Saudi Arabia or other places. And the overall health costs are lowered for the state. So treating people in hospitals, etc., because there's less pollution, costs less for the state. And of course, there are daily benefits, right? There's reserved highway lanes, as we said. There's a smooth drive, not a lot of vibrations, no noise. Your gas station is at your house. So you have that kind of benefit to not have to worry about going to fuel up the car. And the cars just work very well in the winter. There's no starting of a car or no issues like that. So overall, it's a great move to go to an electric car for so many reasons. So people often ask about range and what about travel with an electric car. So the first thing to realize is that you charge your car at home every night. So you leave with a full battery every day. So for your daily driving, it's never an issue. When you're traveling, batteries have now increased in scope that you can now get ranges in the neighborhood of 400 or 500 kilometers. So that's great for your medium-sized trips and not an issue. You don't need to fuel up 400 kilometers to go skiing up north or the eastern townships or to Ottawa from Monteal, for example, not an issue. But people now ask, well, what if you want to go longer? You want to go to Florida, you want to go to New York, you want to go to Toronto, something that exceeds the range of the battery. In my car, I have 500 kilometers of range, but I do go to New York. Well, that's taken care of by the infrastructure of charging stations that you can now find along the highways. Tesla specifically, for example, has their own infrastructure of what they call superchargers. Those are ultra-fast chargers that charge 200 kilometers in about 20 minutes. So if I do a 600-kilometer trip, all I need is a 15-minute stop halfway, 15-20 minutes to grab a coffee and a sandwich while my car is charging, and I continue on to my destination. Usually, if you're driving 6-7 hours, you're stopping for half an hour somewhere. Now that you have charging infrastructures that are getting more and more popular, it's not a long stretch to think that you can travel anywhere in North America, for example, with an electric car. Electric cars are unbelievably safe cars simply by their design. There's no motor in the front, and so you have a whole empty space, which is called a crumple zone, approximately a meter long. That's unheard of in any car, and that allows a frontal collision to basically be absorbed by the car instead of by the occupants. The cost associated with fueling up an electric car is roughly 10 to 12 times less than a gas car. So as an example, driving 20,000 kilometers a year can cost as little as $300 in electricity for the whole year. Another great advantage of an electric car is being able to preheat the car without polluting. In the winter when it's cold, I can use my application to start the heater in the car. The heater starts on its own. There's no pollution coming out. It's not illegal. You're not idling a car. And you come into a nice warm car. Same thing in the summer for air conditioning. People often say that electric cars cost more at the start, and it's true that today they have a slight premium when you buy an electric car. However, if you look at the costs over a 4 or 5 year period, the gas savings, the maintenance savings, and the government incentive that you get means that after 4 or 5 years, your electric car is actually costing you less than what you've spent totally on an equivalent gas car. So here we're driving. There's no vibrations, there's no noise other than the wheel roll noise. It's very, very quiet. You can hear the birds.